That led to the breakdown in my relationship. Like, I just bought the house and 9 months later we were selling it because it just led to a breakdown. I was drinking a lot. Just, you know, I don't know what to do myself. I really didn't know what to do myself. It was affecting my work. You imagine you've got to check every plug socket in this office and you get to the last one and you mess it up and you got to do it all again. When I was 20, I bought my own house. So a lot of responsibility then. And I found I was checking doors, checking light switches and everything like that really bad.
So that OCD thing was kicking in.
But I didn't realise at the time what it was. Because I asked people in the industry, I go, look, man, I keep thinking that I've left something. I was like, oh, it's normal, it happens. But they realised how bad it was.
Was it getting...
It was getting bad.
Right, okay.
So, I mean, it got to a point where, you know, tightening up a gas meter.
Yeah.
I was like doing that 10 times like that. And I had a massive mark on my hand.
So it was becoming really a proper issue?
Really bad issue. It was taking me like 2 hours to go to bed at night. So I was going around all light switches, everything. Yeah. Just like, I had a routine. So I'd go up to a light switch and I had to like rub it 10 times to make sure it was off. Then the next plug, every plug in the house. And if I messed it up, I had to start again.
I don't think people realise how hard that is, living with that.
It's horrendous.
I haven't, but I can imagine.
Was that just triggered then just from
work?
Doing the specific...
Yeah, so when I actually realised it was a problem, I went to the doctor and he said, yeah, it's probably brought on by moving house. You've got a lot of responsibility. It's triggered something in it. That's why. Because obviously living at home with your mum and dad, you just rock up and aim.
Was it initially from just the flu caps?
It just started. I just noticed that at work. But I said, like, a lot of gas engineers do that anyway. We've all done it, but mine was getting really bad. So eventually, I had a bit of a breakdown, like with my ex-girlfriend at the time. I said, look, something's wrong with me. I thought, this ain't normal at all. Yeah. So I went to the doctor and he said, oh yeah, you got OCD. Here's some antidepressants. Come back in 2 weeks.
So what they gave you, antidepressants for that?
That was it.
Right. So that become a proper thing then?
Yeah. It was affecting my life. Now, a lot of people say, oh, I'm OCD, I have to have certain things, but...
It's thrown around, isn't it, OCD?
Yeah, it is thrown around a little bit, but when you've got OCD, it proper affects your life. You cannot function properly. It's really bad. It was getting to a point where I just don't know what to do. So I went to the doctor and he was just like, yeah, you got OCD, here's some antidepressants.
Is there a certain thing you can do to cope with it? I know he's giving you antidepressants, but is there a path that you can go down?
Like therapy?
Yeah, there is. But nobody told me. There was no help at the time. It took me years to get the help.
Right. So you lived with that for a good few years then?
I still live with it now.
Really?
Yeah, I've still got it now, yeah.
It is surprising that when you go to the doctors and you say you've got particular issues, like, oh, here's some tablets. How the tablet's going to stop you from doing something that's a sequence?
Did you take the antidepressants out of interest?
Yeah, because I don't know what else to do. He just said, take them.
You thought that was...
Yeah, I thought it was a magic pill. You know, I'll take them and there you go. You're going to get better. So I went back in 2 weeks. Said, how do you feel? I was like, well, a bit better because I ain't at work, but I'm still checking stuff around the house. He said, just give me a couple more weeks. So I went about 6 weeks off work.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
This is what I mean, like mental health fell back. Like, this was going back to when I was 21. Like, there's no help whatsoever. There's nothing.
No, like cognitive therapy or anything like that.
Yeah, here's some pills. I hope you get better.
Pills will help everything, wouldn't they?
Yeah. So
they're probably getting kickbacks for supplying the tablets.
Yeah. Well, there's that thing, isn't there? That is it Netflix about some pill in America that was
Disney Plus.
Who?
Disney Plus. Dopesick.
That's it. That's the one about the whole thing around that in America. It's just money, big money thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, really, I think it is. Yeah, I think just put money because they make money, don't they?
Yeah.
But that led to the breakdown in my relationship. Like, I just bought the house and 9 months later we were selling it because it just led to a breakdown. I was drinking a lot. Just you know, I don't know what to do myself. I really didn't know what to do myself. It was affecting my work. So that relationship broke down. Somehow I managed to get myself back at work and try and deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, stuff like that, people don't actually realise how it affects every part of your life. Like to split up from a relationship as well, where you probably look back on that and think, that you'd probably still be together. Do you know what I mean? If it
I think we had
your missus watching this?
Oh yeah, it's my wife now.
No, you wouldn't. Turn off straight away.
But you know what I mean? At that particular time, if that hadn't have happened, like I know, like you don't ever sit there now because you're probably happy with your scenario, but you think, actually, how would my life have been if that had been different? Do you know what I mean? You do sometimes.
Those little tweaks in what was your life back then.
It's like different paths.
Yeah,
yeah,
but
could have gone
sliding doors moment.
Anyway,
Innit?
absolutely, yeah.
Well, I think in that relationship there was underlying issues that just brought it to the surface, and we called it quits there. So we broke up, got a flat, was at work, and it just got worse and worse. Got to a point where I just couldn't function. I just could not function at all. So back to the doctor.
Is it that debilitating that you can't leave the house because you have to do a certain sequence before you leave the house?
You can leave the house, but you imagine you've got to check every plug socket in this office, and you get to the last one and you mess it up, and you got to do it all again, and you know in your head.
But what happens?
It ain't normal.
So is it? Because what I'm trying to understand or explain to other people is it just in particular scenarios? So in your own house, that's what you have to do, but when you go out, it wouldn't be like that. Or
if only someone else says, like, it wouldn't bother me. It just wouldn't bother me.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, like if I was doing someone else says, it just wouldn't bother me. But one of the things the doctor said was like, it's you're going to hurt nobody if I'm turning off a plug socket. I was like, I work on gas boilers. I can't bloody kill somebody, so it's different when I'm at work. You know what I mean?
But not even that. It's debilitating that if you got to the very last switch, you'd have to start that process over again.
Yeah.
Like you start beating yourself up internally. Like,
You get that pissed off with yourself, wouldn't you?
You do, because in the back of your head, you're like, you don't need to do this. What are you doing? In the back of your head, it's like a fight in your head. It really is a fight in your head. And when you're at work, so you imagine you got that at home, and when you go to work, I had a certain routine on boilers. Like I'd have the flue test point log. It was 5 turns, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it was the gas test point. Turn that 5 times, and it was just a rigmarole. And not because I was servicing boilers, so that was like 8 times a day. Then getting home and trying to get to bed, it was just horrendous.
And it just devours your whole
job,
doesn't it?
You know when you're going to trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Did that affect your sleep as well? Like
can do. Yeah, you can just wake up and think, did I do that? Did I check the cooker was on? So I got myself back to work.
But with the company, working back with the company.
Yeah, it's with the company. But then it got worse. So I went back to the doctor. He's like, I'll just double the medication.
Sure. That works.
Just double
Your face was like mine. I was like,
what year is that?
That's when he went, get out of here.
So
that's all I did was just double the medication. So I went off work. Really got onto drink really bad. It got to a point where I don't know what to do myself, and that was blocking it out. Fast forward.
But you're not supposed to drink on antidepressants either, are you?
No, but the way
not double them either.
No, yeah.
Some old party around Luke's house at the time.
It was. So I was back and forth with the doctors, back and forth with my company.
Well, one thing before I go on, are we? Are we all, obviously if you...
No, he's hammered last night.
No, I was going to say, because if somebody's sober and we're all having a drink...
No, it's fine.
Do you know what I mean?
No, it's absolutely fine.
Cheers, man.
Cheers. I'll be honest with you.
I'm trying to be serious. If somebody's got an issue with something, mate, you don't dangle that carrot in front of somebody's face. And he's like, top of the morning to you.
So fast forward. I had 9 months off work I had to take. It got to a point where they was talking about medically retiring me.
Really? So how bad?
So how old are you at this point?
Early 20s.
That's a big blow, isn't it, to come in?
Yeah. Like from the age of 16, working with my dad, passed my gas when I was 18, got my first house when I was 20, went to Vegas on a really good holiday when I was 21. I always set myself these goals, and that, you know what I mean, to achieve. Then all of a sudden I hit this. I got this mental health condition. And I don't know what to do myself. It needed addressing. I really needed help, but I couldn't get it. I don't know what kind of help was out there, and I don't know where to turn to. It took me my 3rd doctor, and I went in once and they said, you need therapy. So I know somebody. So we'll get you fast forward. And
but your 3rd doctor?
3rd doctor, yeah.
Fair play to you going to the 3rd one and figure it out.
I don't want to be on antidepressants. I really didn't. I didn't want to be on
long-term medication is not good for anybody.
No,
but it's just annoying that your 1st doctor didn't give you that option.
No, my 2nd. It's like, how's the antidepressants going? I'm like, I'm great if I don't miss them, but when I miss them, I feel, you feel like crap.
But even in the mental state that you're in, to even go, this is not right, and then go to a 3rd doctor.
Yeah.
So you knew in your head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So the 3rd doctor said, you need therapy. I went to see somebody, and she actually spoke to me about it. Said, okay, what am I doing? What do you think's going to happen? And she just said, right, what I want you to do, I just want you to try little things. Like, it said, like a plug, and there's a plug next to it, and she turned it off, and I couldn't stop looking at it. She goes, what do you think's going to happen? I was like, if I don't do something with it, I think it's going to start.
What did you want to do? What at that point then would you have wanted to do with that? Checking it.
Turn it back off and just, that's off, that's
right,
off, definitely off. So you just have to do like these stupid little sequences. And she said, what do you think's going to happen? Says, well, I think it's going to, something bad's going to happen. Says, well, I'll tell you what, do your best. Don't just drive away from here. You know what? If there's a fight, it'll be on the news.
I don't think people realise how debilitating.
Yeah.
Like, just to get out of your house and it take you an extra half an hour because you've got to go through that sequence.
It's 2 hours sometimes. 2 hours, and you're just constantly fighting in your head. You know it ain't right, but you've got to do it. Because if you don't do it, you can't function the rest of the day. Once you've done it, you make the it's brilliant.
I mean, stuff like this, I always, it's hard for somebody to come on and talk about those things because you've sort of basically been open with everybody and saying, I've had an issue with this. But I always find actually it's really good because there's probably somebody else who's sat there listening or watching it thinking, well, I'm going through the same thing. I've just been stuck on tablets. Or somebody's got a mental health issue and they're probably like, I have the same thing. I just keep getting stuck on tablets.
That's it. Yeah,
you just keep going back to the doctor or finding somebody.
You just gotta. If you know you've got a mental health condition and you need help, you've got to push through it. You really are. Well, that's what I found when I was going through it, and with the therapy, it worked. It really worked. But it might sound a bit weird. I watched a film called Beautiful Mind.
It's cracking. Yeah.
You know that moment when he realises that it's all in his head.
Yeah.
I was like, this is in my head. This is all in my head. And I
thought, like a bit of it, like an epiphany.
Yeah, it was like,
long way.
Okay, so I can learn to live with it.
You got 11 GCSEs, man.
Or 13. No. I was a milkman at 16, mate. Shout out to Church Farm Brewery.
So yeah, I seen that and I thought, you know what? I'm never going to get rid of this. It's always going to be a part of me. I've got to learn to live with it. So the antidepressants, you can't just come off them. You've got to wean yourself off. So all I did was, next time I went to the doctor, give me the antidepressants and I halved it. So I just halved it, then quartered it.
Again, as well, because I feel like once you get on that pathway of having tablets, is people then panic having to take that away.
Yeah.
Obviously you've got to start reducing your tablets, or what am I? You almost condition yourself to fear maybe coming off them.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, because I knew I had to do something, so I was like, right, come on, we're going to get off these tablets, and we're going to fight this.
Do you mind me asking, are you off them now?
Yeah, I'm off them. Yeah,
Do you feel better for?
Yeah. It was a year that it took me just to fight in my head to try and live with it. But now I'm at a stage now where I can live with it. Now there's some days that I'm better than most. There's some days where I know I can lose the battle. I'll have to go back to a customer or something like that. But I can live with it.
So it's still creeping a little bit.
Yeah. It can do at home as well. Like the other night, I must have checked the back door about 5 times. But when it happens, I'll just go, right, it's okay. It's fine. It's just a blip. Just get it out of your head. You've done that. Move on.
And will your missus just leave you?
Yeah, she just knows to. Yeah. If she hears me walking around downstairs, like, she just knows. Leave him alone. He's all right.
I think the thing is, if she was to go at you, it'd probably trigger it to make it worse.
It would, yeah.
It would become a thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because you're trying to concentrate. If anyone disturbs that, you'd end up like snapping their head off. You'd end up getting mental because you just want to get it done so you can carry on. But I've learned to live with it now. It's got to a point where I'm no medication, no therapy. I can live with it, and